There are some things in this world you just shouldn't trust. Trusting people usually leads to making mistakes, and in the end, I'm always the one who pays the price. The biggest thing on that list? Girls who are nice, specifically the ones who are nice to me. The name's Yuta Tano. I'm just a high school guy who's learned the hard way that a girl's kindness is usually just a front. Most of the girls here are too busy screaming for Ray-sama anyway. See that guy? That's my older brother, Ray. Girls treat me like a stepping stone just to get to him. I've been tricked and used more times than I can count, so I'm done with them. Just as I'm thinking that, someone calls my name. It's her again, giving me a bright good morning. I'm already suspicious. Including her in my no-trust list was the easiest decision I ever made. She keeps trying until I finally snap and shout a good morning back. She's way too persistent, and it's honestly getting on my nerves. She gives me this look, and my heart does a weird little jump. I have to tell myself to get a grip. Why am I getting all flustered over a girl? This is Izumi Hoju. She's in my class, she's cute, and everyone says she's the perfect match for my brother. I have zero doubt she's just hanging around me to get a shot at him. Suddenly, she's asking me what kind of bread I like. I tell her melon bread just to get her to stop staring, and she tells me to go to the cafeteria. What is her deal? Next thing I know, it's gym class, and I'm watching her play basketball. My friends are all talking about how cute she is, and I hate to admit it, but they're not wrong. She's got the looks, the grades, and even the skills. But even a girl like her misses a shot sometimes. My friend points out she's not quite pulling it off. She looks way too happy with herself for someone who just missed. My friend catches me staring and teases me about it, but I'm quick to deny everything. I wasn't looking. Definitely wasn't. She turns around and gives me another smile. It's enough to make my head spin. I really can't figure out what she's trying to do. She's been driving me nuts. The weirdest part? She's never once asked me about my brother. Could she actually be into me? No, there's no way. I'm probably just dreaming. I see a crowd forming around a first-year girl and a tall guy. It's always the same story. Everyone's eyes are on him, and I'm just there. A group of girls rushes past, practically trampling me to get to Ray. I end up on the floor, as usual. This has been my life for as long as I can remember. Any girl who acts nice is just aiming for the guy ahead of me. That's why I can't trust them. I'm just staring at the floor when someone asks if I'm all right. A handkerchief appears in front of my face. It was Izumi. She offered me her handkerchief, looking genuinely concerned. I couldn't help but ask the one thing on my mind. Why? I asked her why she wasn't joining the crowd chasing my brother. She just looked at me for a second, then back at the screaming fans. She told me it was because she found me. That's it. Just like that, she handed me the handkerchief and told me to just take it. I didn't know what to say. She mentioned it's her favorite one, so I'd better return it. I kept telling myself there's no way she's not after Ray, but I'm struggling to believe my own logic. I was a total mess, clutching that handkerchief. I swore to myself right then that I wouldn't let myself be deceived ever again. I won't. Back in the present, my brother is still the star of the show. Girls are even whispering about me, but only because I'm related to him. This is exactly why I can't stand them. And then there's Izumi. She's been bothering me constantly lately, especially when I'm just trying to get through the day. She welcomes me back like she's been waiting. She's sitting in my seat and offers me half, like it's no big deal. I can't sit that close to her. I end up shuffling away while she just watches me. She's definitely got a lot of fans in class too. She leans in close to see what I'm writing. It's just a math quiz, but she seems way too interested. My friend pops up to announce it's quiz time, and I am definitely not ready. I bombed it. Hard. A 5 out of 50. My friends are having a field day with it, telling me not to mind. I just want to disappear and go home to study. I figured change of scenery might help, so I head to the library. I'm sitting there, staring at my notebook, and still not getting any of it. Then, a hand reaches over. I jump when I realize Izumi is right there, pointing out a mistake. I didn't even hear her come in. What is she even doing here? She's actually using the library to study? Surprising. Wait, she's reading a light novel with a title that's practically a whole sentence. I thought she'd be at some fancy cafe, not sitting here reading that. She's way more of a nerd than I thought. She scoots her chair right next to mine. I ask her why she's sitting so close, and she just brushes it off. She notices I haven't written anything down yet. She totally caught me. She looks at my failing quiz grade and gets this smug little grin. She doesn't seem like the type to pay attention in class either, but she's definitely acting like she knows better. I tell her she's being too persistent, but she just ignores me. She offers to teach me the parts one don't understand. I finally give in just to get her to stop talking. We end up studying for hours. She's actually a really good teacher. Before I know it, it's already late and I've finally finished my work. I look over and see her still there. She's just sitting there, waiting for me to finish. My heart starts doing that doki doki thing again. I ask her why she stayed, and she says she finished ages ago. She was just waiting on me. I start blushing like crazy. Was she really waiting for me this whole time? I'm clenching my pen, trying to process if this girl is actually into me. This is bad for my heart. The next day, I end up getting a perfect score. My friends are shocked, asking if I'm still the same person. Izumi just walks away with a small smile. Mission accomplished, I guess. Later that day, I'm out grocery shopping. Veggies are getting way too expensive lately. I'm just trying to find some carrots without breaking the bank. I'm standing there with my arms full of vegetables when I hear a familiar voice. I look up, and there she is. Why is Izumi always where I am? Seeing her in casual clothes is a whole different vibe. I'm freaking out internally, wondering what I'm even thinking. She's totally messing with my head again. I look down at her basket and see it's full of snacks. She asks what's on my shopping list, then immediately calls me out for buying something totally different. She's got her priorities all wrong, acting like the smart one here. She tells me to go put the snacks back. Seriously, I can't tell what this girl is thinking. She's giving me this look, then tries to grab the list right out of my hand. I really need to figure out what her game is. She actually seems like a surprisingly caring person, thanking me and saying I helped her get everything she needed. My local auntie even pops up to ask if she's my girlfriend. I'm exhausted just from the shopping trip. Girlfriend? No way. We're just classmates. I try to correct her, but the damage was done. Annie assumed we were close because we looked like we were having fun. I've never even seen Izumi laugh before today. I can't help but wonder if she only laughs like that when she's around my brother. It wouldn't surprise me. I told myself I'd never be deceived again, but then I remember how she looked earlier. It didn't feel like an act. It was raining later on, and I saw her standing by the door. Did she forget her umbrella? I didn't want to get involved, but I couldn't just leave her there. It's got nothing to do with me, right? Right? I ended up offering her my umbrella. I told her she'd catch a cold if she just stood there. She seemed surprised, but I insisted on giving it to her. I figured I'd just run for it. Somehow, we ended up walking home together under that one umbrella. I thought I had given it to her to use alone. Now I'm stuck sharing with some guy. Or rather, she's stuck sharing with me. Most girls would have just refused. She said it was fine, but she was so close. The umbrella was definitely only made for one person. My heart was pounding, and I was getting seriously nervous. I barely had enough room to breathe. I still felt like she was only doing this to get on my good side. It wasn't like she was actually having fun being with me. Then a truck came flying by, heading straight for a puddle. I yelled at her to watch out and pulled her back. I ended up getting completely drenched by the splash, but at least she was dry. She asked if I was okay, and I just played it cool. I was soaked. She pointed out that I wouldn't have gotten soaked if I had just used the umbrella properly. She had a point. I just told her that as long as she wasn't wet, it didn't matter. I must have looked like a total idiot. She suddenly burst out laughing. She was actually laughing at me. I asked her what she was doing, and she just couldn't stop. She's definitely a strange girl, laughing at a moment like this. She thanked me for protecting her earlier. The sky was starting to clear up, but she still felt like someone I needed to be cautious around. She's unpredictable. That was the end of that day. The seat change. It's one of those little events in school life that everyone gets worked up about. The person I'm most cautious of, Izumi Huju, is now sitting right next to me. Great. She leans in and says she hopes we get along. I just give her a half-hearted yes, sure. I'm trying to figure out if this is a trap or just my luck running out during the seating change. I decided to turn this misfortune into an opportunity. This is my chance to see through her facade. I'm going to watch her every move. She catches me staring and asks why I'm looking her way. I just told her I was looking at the mountains. Smooth. I kept telling myself she was after Ray, just like the rest. But she's so hard to read. She's the complete polar opposite of me. Everything she has is so sparkly and cute, while I'm just ordinary. What is that weird bouncy thing she has? She asks if her Lay's dog is popular. I didn't even know what it was. She says it's cute and that it kind of looks like me. I immediately denied it, but my friends seem to be having a great time watching us. I guess I'm just going in circles trying to dig up something on her. Most of the time, girls who end up next to me just pester me for info on my brother. She hasn't mentioned him once today. What on earth is she thinking? I was just staring at her from the side again, wondering about her next move. Then, she does something totally unexpected. She puts on glasses. I didn't even know she wore them. I couldn't help but ask if she had bad eyesight. She said it's not usually a problem, but since we're way in the back now, she has to put them on. I told her I could see just fine from here. 20/20 vision, baby. Proud of it. I spent a lot of time outdoors when I was a kid, playing in the forest. That's probably why my eyes are so good. I'm basically an outdoorsy guy at heart. Then the teacher calls my name for the next question. Crap, I wasn't listening. I'm sweating, trying to figure out what the answer could be. I look over at Izumi, and she whispers persistence. I don't know if I should trust her. What if she's giving me the wrong answer just for a laugh? I went for it and yelled persistence. The teacher looked shocked, but then she told me I was correct. Izumi didn't trick me. My friends were even whispering about how cool she was for helping. I managed to survive. I thanked her, but I'm still on edge. I'll only believe her this once because she actually helped me out. She's giving me this smug look, like she's really enjoying seeing me flustered. Why does she look so happy? I asked her why she didn't just ask to change seats with someone closer if her eyes were so bad. She just leaned back and said she likes it here. I still can't read her at all. The bell finally rang, and I was just left more confused than before. She's humming to herself, looking totally content. I'm just sitting here with a question mark over my head. Seriously, what is this girl's deal? Then I see the class list. I'm in the last row. Great. Just great. A couple of girls asked me if I'd be all right that far in the back and offered to change seats. I told them it was fine. I'm just trying to keep my head down and survive the day. But I have a bad feeling about this. I looked over at her, and she had this look in her eyes. I had no idea what was coming next. The scene shifts, and it looks like some time has passed. I was just staring out the window, lost in thought. Now it's May, and we're on a bus for some day trip. My classmate is hyped about playing cards and assumes I'm in. I didn't even get to say yes or no before I was being counted in. Everyone's so energetic. I'm sitting on the bus, just trying to read my book. Apparently today is a day trip for outdoor learning. We're supposed to embrace nature and strengthen class bonding. I'm feeling kind of uneasy about the whole thing. I ended up in a group because Takamiya called out to us. And on top of that, I'm in the same group as Izumi. It's better than being stuck with some of the other girls who just want to talk about Ray, I guess. I need to snap out of it. My heart is doing that thing again. We're deciding roles for the curry team. I heard from a senior that firewood duty is brutal. I'm really hoping to get on the cooking team instead. I can't afford to lose this draw. My friends are already feeling the burn. I lost. Why the heck are you on firewood duty too, Izumi? She told me it's because I came in dead last, and she was second to last. We're the bottom two crew. If she hadn't sabotaged me, I wouldn't be stuck with this. Damn it. Meanwhile, the cooking team is already celebrating. We're out here hauling firewood on this steep slope, and it's no joke. I'm wondering if Izumi is even hanging in there. She looks like she's struggling, but she's still moving. I'm already feeling done with this whole day. We're not even halfway finished. I look over and see her sweating, looking totally exhausted. There's something about her that makes it hard to look away. Then, another girl pops up and asks if we're all right. It's Hinagi Hasegawa. Hinagi tells us not to hesitate to say something if anything comes up. She's so kind. Everyone says she's one of the class's top 2 stars because she's just so adorable. I'm just glad someone is actually checking on us. Then someone else calls out to us. I jump when Izumi pops out of nowhere. I didn't even hear her come up. She says she just caught up. That's all. She really is bad at physical stuff. She's huffing and puffing already. I told her we should hurry or the curry will be all gone. I was just gesturing for us to go, but she took it the wrong way. I didn't mean anything by it. She grabs my arm and starts pulling me along. We finally made it back to the group, and she actually thanked me. What? Since when is she nice? My friends are already starting with the nice guy comments. We finally get back to see what the cooking team has done. I look at the pot, and what is that? It's a literal blob of chocolate. What was supposed to be curry is just a disaster. They're all ahey and proud of themselves. They used secret ingredients. What? Don't tell me they put all of those in. Chocolate, yogurt, honey. What were they thinking? One guy takes a sip, and his face immediately turns green. He says it tastes awful. I just take a sip, and yeah, it's a nightmare. Everyone is scrambling to fix it. Quick, Mirai, get some water. Izumi is actually trying to bite while the others talk about me. Apparently, they heard I cook a lot. One guy mentions that I even make my own bento, and they're actually good. She looks surprised. Bento. Oh, that sounds nice to her, apparently. Everyone is volunteering to help me fix this mess. Me too. Me three. I end up taking charge of the cooking area. Everyone's watching me like I'm some kind of master chef. I'm just trying to make something edible out of this mess. I can feel Izumi watching me from the side. This trip is turning out way different than I expected. The group finally digs into the curry, and the reaction is unanimous. Shouts of "so good" and "delicious" echo around the campsite. They're hailing my rescue mission as a complete success, and even though I was the one who fixed it, hearing them enjoy it so much is a huge relief. I take a bite myself, glad that my little tweaks worked out. But as I eat, I can't help but steal a glance at Izumi Hoju. She's eating quietly, not saying a word. I'm starting to get nervous. Did she actually like it, or is she just being polite? She finally speaks, a small, genuine smile playing on her lips as she says, "It's delicious." My heart gives a sudden, traitorous speed thump. Seeing her look so soft and appreciative for a second makes me forget all my suspicions. I try to focus on my own food, wondering why a simple compliment from her is making me feel so happy. I notice a grain of rice stuck on her face and point it out, but she just ends up getting more stuck while trying to wipe it off. I don't need her opinion, I tell myself, but maybe I do. The piece doesn't last long as Mr. Kobayashi announces the next event. A grand treasure hunt in the mountains. The girls are practically sparkling with excitement at the mention of a treasure hunt, while I'm just wondering what kind of adventure we're in for. The rules are simple. Follow the map, solve the puzzles, and find the treasure. Rumor has it the prize is a cool 1,000,000 yen, which has everyone charging ahead. I'm skeptical about the money, but I follow my group as the grand adventure begins. We start walking, but Izumi is trailing behind with a strange, slow shuffle. I have to call out to her to keep up, wondering if she's just tired. Something about her feels a little off today, but I can't quite put my finger on it. We hit the first puzzle, a riddle about what Miss Kobayashi does on her days off. The options are wrestling, bowling, or aerobics. I'm completely lost. How will we even know that? I'm about to give up when Izumi quietly says, "Bowling." It turns out she was right. She actually remembered a random comment the teacher made in class. Everyone starts showering her with praise, calling her amazing. My friends even start pestering me to join in on the compliments. As the others cheer, I look at her and see a faint, satisfied look on her face. Maybe it was being too hard on her. Well, I guess she seems fine. I think to myself, starting to let my guard down just a little bit more. The momentum keeps building as our group nails one riddle after another. We're counting clubs and students, fueled by the dream of that 1,000,000 yen prize. Everyone is full of energy, and for a moment, it actually feels like we're winning. But then, I realize something's wrong. Izumi is gone. Someone asked where she went, and I remember her saying she was going to get some water. But that was a while ago. With only 10 minutes left on the clock, panic starts to set in. I try to convince myself she's fine, but images of her getting lost or distracted by a butterfly keep popping into my head. I can't just sit here. I fake an excuse about being super parched and sprint off to find her, leaving the others behind. I'm rushing through the woods, heart pounding. She's so spacey that there's no telling where she might have ended up. Finally, I spot a familiar figure standing near a sign. There you are. Hoju. I shout, half relieved and half annoyed. She's standing by a sign that says treasure down here, looking like she just followed it literally. Simple as ever. But as we start to walk back, I notice she's limping. Wait, did you hurt your foot? I ask, catching on to why she was so slow earlier. She looks at me, surprised that I noticed. I scold her for not telling anyone and for forcing herself to keep going during the hike. It's dangerous to be out here alone if you're hurt. She just stands there, silent, as I try to process my worry. My heart starts racing as I look at her. For the first time, her face isn't a blank mask. She's hiding behind her collar, looking genuinely embarrassed and vulnerable. It's an expression so clear and honest that it catches me completely off guard. I try to lighten the mood by teasing her about being childish, but I'm already bending down to offer her a ride. She gives me a playful bonk on the head, acting annoyed, but I can tell she's just as flustered as I am. I end up carrying her on my back through the forest. She apologizes, worried she's too heavy, but she feels light as a feather. I tell her she needs to eat more, as she explains that she got blisters from brand new shoes she was excited to wear. I can't help but chuckle, noting that she's actually pretty easy to read when she's not trying to be mysterious. She looks surprised by my comment, and for a moment, the distance between us feels a lot smaller than it used to be. As we walk, she whispers a soft, "Thank you," for coming to find me right into my ear. The sincerity in her voice makes my breath hitch. My face is probably beet red by now. I came into this thinking I could never trust her, but now I'm starting to think she's actually way simpler than I imagined. She squeezes my shoulders, and I just keep walking, confused by these new feelings. Looking back on that day, I realize it was the moment I actually wanted to believe in her, even if only a little bit. We eventually made it back to the rest of the group safely, the grand adventure coming to an end. The million-yen treasure turned out to be 10 copies of a classical problems workbook. Pure gloom. My friends are devastated, but Izumi is just her usual self. In the background, I see Hinagi Hasegawa leaving with her own group, looking satisfied. Back at school, life returns to its usual rhythm. Hinagi Hasegawa arrives, radiating her usual aura of perfect beauty. Everyone is greeting her, and she responds with a sparkling smile that has the whole class in awe of how cute she is. Suddenly, Hinagi's sweet persona vanishes as she spots some girls swarming a guy in the hallway. "Hey, that's enough," she yells, stepping in to stop them. She apologizes to the Tano senpai. They were bothering, her expression firm and protective. "It was my brother, Ray Tano." He thanks her with a dreamy smile and heads off, leaving a trail of sparkling hearts. The other boys are impressed that Hinagi doesn't seem to have any interest in the school's idol, thinking she's totally awesome. But as soon as she's alone in a bathroom stall, the truth comes out. She's frantically sniffing a notebook, eyes wide with mania. "Rei-sama smells freaking amazing," she screams internally. First-year Hinagi Hasegawa is actually a hardcore Rei fanatic. She's absolutely ecstatic that he even looked at her. Her notebook is filled with detailed intel on his daily routine. But watching him from afar isn't enough anymore. She wants to know everything about his private life, and she has a plan. Her plan involves me. She marches into class and greets me with an overly bright, "Good morning, Tano-kun." I'm just confused as she enters twin tail mode, in her head, determined to squeeze every bit of info about Ray out of his younger brother. She starts laying it on thick, offering to help with homework or adjust the curtains. I just give her a flat, "No, I'm good," totally oblivious to her ulterior motives. She's trying so hard to be the cute girl, but it's just not working on me. Later, back in the safety of the toilet, she's fuming. "What the heck is with that guy? How rude." She can't believe I didn't fall for her act. But then she smirks, realizing that since I'm a tough target, she just needs a new approach. Hinagi spots Izumi Hoju and immediately marks her as a rival for Rei-sama's heart. She sees them talking and decides to go on a covert mission to eavesdrop, hoping to dig up some dirt or intel while they eat lunch. She's watching us like a hawk, waiting for the conversation to turn to Rei. "What kind of food do you usually eat at home?" Izumi asks. Hinagi is poised to capture the moment, her drool practically visible as she waits for the Rei-sama name drop. But the conversation stays boringly normal. Izumi just says nice when I tell her I made the bento myself. Hinagi is losing her mind in the background. That's it. Why didn't you follow up with anything about Ray? She even drops her chopsticks in frustration. Hinagi is utterly defeated. She realizes that learning about my cooking habits or what side dishes I like is completely useless for her mission. She stares at me with a mix of despair and annoyance while I just go on eating my lunch. Izumi lets out a little chuckle, saying, "Guess we're the same," because she also makes her own lunch sometimes. Hinagi is watching from the shadows, her eyes narrow. Could she be? She wonders, trying to find a deeper meaning where there is none. By the end of lunch, Hinagi is in a state of total doom. She's learned absolutely nothing new about her idol. She just slumps over her secret report notebook, wishing she could just be with her beloved Rei-sama instead of dealing with me. But she's not giving up. With a look of fierce determination, she vows that next time, she'll definitely uncover something juicy. She clutches her "I love Rei-sama" notebook to her chest, her fanaticism burning brighter than ever. I finally get home and open the door with a tired "I'm home," only to be greeted by my brother. He's standing there in a messy sweater, scratching his stomach like a complete slob. "Welcome back," he says, looking nothing like the idol everyone adores. The next day at school is the school-wide deep cleaning day. The halls are filled with chatter and the sound of cleaning supplies. I'm dreading the task ahead, especially since it's so hot out today. Of all the tasks, we got stuck with weeding. Hinagi Hasegawa pops out, sparkling with artificial friendliness. "Huh, but we're friends, right?" she says. "Since when?" I snap back, already exhausted by her weird behavior and the scorching sun. Hinagi is already planning her next move, thinking that if she wants to get closer to Rei, she needs to build a solid friendship with me first. She's executing what she calls Operation Friendship, but her focus is quickly diverted by something much more important. It's a stressful day, and she needs her usual pick-me-up to get through the exhaustion. She reaches in her bag, frantic and breathless, tossing books and papers aside. Her heart sinks as she realizes her precious memento bookmark, the one Rei-sama supposedly gave her, is missing. She imagines a heartbroken Rei asking if that's all his love meant to her, and she's suddenly overcome with gloom, dashing off to find it before it's gone forever. While Hinagi is having a crisis, I'm stuck with my friends who are teasing me about how much I've mellowed out lately. They bring up the piggyback ride I gave Izumi Hoju, making me flush with embarrassment. I snap back that I had no choice, but they just laugh, thinking my phobia of women is finally starting to heal. Like hell it is. Our group chat is interrupted by a very distressed Hinagi. She's in total gloom, muttering about something she dropped. My friends, being the nice guys they are, immediately volunteer the three of us to help her find it. I'm caught off guard as they grab me and pull me in her search, even though I have no idea what she's even looking for. I'm being dragged along, complaining all the way, while Hinagi is all smiles, thanking us for the help. She suggests splitting into groups to cover more ground. I end up with her, much to my annoyance, as she acts overly grateful for my support in finding her lost treasure. We end up on the rooftop, the Rei-sama Special Observation Deck, as Hinagi calls it. I'm exhausted and just want to go home, but she's still in a panic about her important bookmark. I finally ask her what it looks like, and she describes it with a blush, mentioning a pressed sakura petal that Rei-sama gave to her. I stare at her, my skepticism reaching new heights. "Figures, so that's why you've been trying to get closer to me lately." I'm Wata. She tries to deny it, but her face tells a different story. I'm used to girls using me to get to my brother, so it shouldn't be a surprise, but it still feels a little hollow. I press her for the truth, and she admits that he didn't exactly give it to her. He just picked a petal off her head, and she made it into a bookmark. God, obsess much? I say, but she just tells me to shut up. To her, that small act was everything, because Rei was the only one who was ever kind to her back then. Hinagi is on the verge of tears, her obsession on full display as she whispers, "I love him," to herself. She feels guilty for dragging me into her mess and tells me she'll look on her own, running off before I can say anything else. I'm left standing there, watching her go, feeling a strange mix of annoyance and something else. I try to tell myself I don't care. It's not like I owe her anything, right? I start to leave, the sound of the rooftop gate clicking shut behind me. But then I see her in the distance, still searching frantically, and I just can't bring myself to walk away. My friends notice my hesitation, wondering why I haven't left yet. My friends give up the search at the weed-pulling spot, but I head somewhere else. I remember Hinagi's face when she talked about that pedal. It was a spur-of-the-moment thing for her, but it clearly meant the world. I find myself heading toward the trash bins, hoping I'm wrong, but feeling like it's the only place left to look. Dohono-kun, why are you digging through the trash? Hinagi finds me, her voice filled with shock. I just give her a casual, "Oh, hey," as I rummage through the bags. She tells me I don't have to go that far, but I just keep looking, feeling like a total idiot but unable to stop myself. I just thought maybe it might be in here. Amuta. Hinagi watches me, her eyes wide as she realizes I'm actually doing this for her. It's something important to you, no? I say, not looking at her. My friends see us, and one of them comments that even though I've been used by girls my whole life, I still can't help but lend a hand. He's a walking oxymoron. He laughs, calling me a really kind guy. Wait, isn't that what I was doing to him? Hinagi thinks, her eyes fixed on my back. She was planning to use me, to slurp all the info about Ray out of me. But seeing me elbow deep in trash bags just to find her silly bookmark makes her feel a sudden pang of something she didn't expect. I really am just too nice for my own good. Oh, there it is. I finally spot it. I pull the little bookmark out of the trash, feeling a wave of relief. Hinagi stands there, stunned, as I hold it out to her. This has got to be it. It must be, I say, triumphant despite the smell of garbage clinging to me. I hand it over to her, simply saying her name. She takes it, her hands trembling. I'm sorry, about earlier, she whispers, her eyes welling up with real tears this time. She grips the bookmark tight, a small, genuine thank you escaping her lips. I just look away, feeling flustered. And no, it's okay. I stammer, not knowing how to handle her being so honest. My friends are waiting for me at the gate, telling me to grab my bags. As I walk with Hinagi, I can't help but comment on her brocon behavior for keeping that bookmark on her at all times. It was a total stab at her obsession, but she just takes it in stride, looking a bit downcast. Ugh, Tano, she mutters, finally looking me in the eye. She admits she was trying to pry stuff out of me to learn more about Ray, beating around the bush and acting fake. She says my attitude and everything about me rubbed her the wrong way. You're just dissing me at this point, I think. But then she stops, her expression turning serious. But I won't do any more of that. I am Soda Kropka. She gives a deep, sincere bow, surprising me. You're actually kind of good guy, she says with a bright, genuine laugh that actually makes her look as cute as everyone says she is. It's the first time I've seen her act like a normal person instead of a perfect idol or an obsessed fan. Suddenly, she's back to her hyper self, pumping her fists. I get now. Real love means getting Ray-sama intel yourself. That's how I'll prove it. She turns to me with a sparkling smile. So, let's be friends. For real this time. My response is immediate. A frantic head shake and a that's a hell no from me. I still don't trust her unhinged energy. She laughs off my rejection, her unshakable Ray-sama devotion back in full force. She teases me that showing my kind side might make me more popular with girls. Not Ray-sama levels, of course, but still. Why do you keep dissing me every 5 seconds? I yell while my friends just wave us off, heading home together. As we walk, Hinagi suddenly gets a jolt of realization. Wait, does that include Hoju-san too? She asks. I freeze, the image of Izumi's mysterious smile flashing in my mind. Well, I stammer, unable to find the right words. Hoju, that girl. I can't help but wonder what her deal really is. I can't stop thinking about her. She's just a total mystery. My heart starts to tremble a little just thinking about it. I put a hand to my forehead, trying to cool down. Hinagi is watching me with a knowing look, her eyes sparkling with a new, mischievous intent. This is going to be a long school year. She's a mystery, huh? So that means... Hinagi lets out a sly giggle. She gives me a hard smack on the back, nearly knocking me over. Go get her, lil bro-in-law. She cheers. What? What do you mean in-law? I shout in pain and confusion as she runs ahead. Hinagi Hasegawa has officially joined the party, and my life just got a lot more complicated.